Uh, game has ended. Japan 1, UAE 0. First of all, I apologize for not doing a preview. I know not many people watch those videos, but my excuse is I thought the game was tomorrow. I only found out that the game was today about 10 minutes into the game. So that also, as a result, means I missed the first 10 to 15 minutes. So, but anyway, there wouldn't have been much to talk about anyway. So, get underway. First half was quite sluggish, which was disconcerting because the starting 11 would have been fairly close to the strongest starting 11 that he had available. It would have been if that was the starting 11 against Iraq, that would have been fairly acceptable starting 11 for Zaccheroni to choose. So the fact that they were very sluggish in the first half was, disconcerting. There were a few chances, but they looked a bit disjointed, and there were quite a lot of spaces. I thought UAE had more attacks than I would have liked. And I think the turning point was the subs in the second half. I missed some of the first half. But in the second half, Zaccheroni started off with taking off Inoha, Hasebe, and Kagawa, and replacing them with Mizumoto, Hosogai, and Okazaki. And later on, Honda came off, and Kengo Nakamura went on. Now, after Nakamura came on, Japan kind of looked a much different side. They looked like they had a bit more to prove, like they were sort of playing for something. And not only the goal, everything from halftime onwards was better, but when Nakamura came on, he was outstanding for his time on the pitch. And it's very good that Japan have that kind of player. And he's the perfect substitute for Honda, not because he's similar to Honda, because he's a completely different player, but for exactly that reason, he's a completely different player. And Nakamura was much better linking with the other forwards than Honda was. Honda didn't play badly. He actually was the best player on the pitch probably until he came off. But Nakamura got things rolling a lot better, I thought. Let's see, Kagawa came off, like I said, at halftime. He was poor-ish again, which is really annoying because I'm not sure if I've said this before. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember the last time. The last time I remember Kagawa playing a really good game was against South Korea last year in August. So yeah, he's become a bit of a big shot now, going to Manchester United, but he hasn't shown it for Japan for a while. So I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but yeah, I haven't seen him play a really good game for a while. And another thing that I kept thinking about throughout the game, until the substitutes made the game better, but I haven't seen Japan play a really good game when they didn't need to, if you catch my drift. So meaningless friendlies, or qualifiers that had no points really up for grabs. So, for example, the North Korea game and the Uzbekistan game. All those games, they haven't played that well. If you think back, the Vietnam game, 1-0, wasn't very good. Uzbekistan lost. North Korea lost. Venezuela, sluggish. The only game that was okay was Azerbaijan, I thought, as for friendlies go. But even that game, they actually had something to prove because they'd just come off some bad results. So, so I think it shows that the starting players feel a bit too secure in their position. They don't feel they need to prove themselves so much. Kagawa in particular, I think he needs to pick up. First goal came off the head of Mike Havenaar after a lovely cross from Komano. Admittedly, it was quite poorly dealt with their goalkeeper. But yeah, Havenaar was quite average. Although to be fair, we don't have any strikers really that can play much better than that. So if he starts against Iraq, that will be okay probably. Komano was probably one of the best on ground. I'm not sure if he was the best, but he was one of the better players on the ground. Good cross. And yeah, that's all there is to say. I think the good news from the game, despite a very poor first half, was that the substitutes all did very well. And Hosogai was good. Yeah, Japan's best play, to put it this way, Japan's best play all came when Hasebe, Honda, and Kagawa were all on the bench, which is encouraging that there's other options other than three very important players in the team. Kengo Nakamura, like I said, was outstanding. I really enjoyed watching him play. He's a pleasure to watch. Let's see. And late in the game, Gotoku Sakai got his debut for Japan, coming on for Hiroki Sakai. Gotoku probably won't start against Iraq and probably won't get any time against Iraq. And when Uchida comes back, he probably won't get caught up to the squad anymore, or until he gets better. So, in the meantime, at least he got capped, so he can't start threatening to play for Germany, as was the case in the headlines if you will check in the news. Yeah, and last thing that I was a little concerned about was a few counterattacks by the UAE after Japan had pressed forward, because it just kept. There was especially one in the 33rd minute of the second half, which looked very similar to how Uzbekistan scored against Japan. And I know in a few games I've noticed similar things, and I'm sure I've said those occasions in these videos. So again, it's a little disconcerting that UAE managed to get a 4-on-4. It might have even been a 5 versus 4, because the central midfielders were too high, so the gap was too big, and UAE exploited that. Well, not really. It went nowhere, but a better team probably would have punished that. So in the later stages of the game, that was probably one of the only bad things that I saw. So yeah, hopefully, because I think the thing is that even though Nakamura was great, Okazaki was quite good, and Hosogai was pretty good. Despite that, none of those three will start against Iraq. It will be the preferred players. So hopefully those three will step up to the real occasion and put in a good performance. I'll talk to you in a couple of days regarding that game. Hopefully Nagatomo will be recovered. It seemed like he was on the border between playing and not playing this game, so I don't think there'll be any troubles with his injury. Otherwise, I'll see you later.